Hello guys, and the Ukrainian drones have done some really good cleaning both inside Russia and on the temporarily occupied territories, destroying radars of the Russian army, extremely expensive and most importantly in great numbers, and also targeting a supply center in Bryansk region. It was also loud in Taganrog, their military air base, and also the place where lots of helicopters, combat helicopters were stationed, and they had to close airports again in Moscow, which is a very vivid illustration Russia can and will be defeated. In the world of escalation management, be Ukraine. Simply implement step by step this only working demilitarization strategy. Because when you listen attentively to the speeches of Putin, you can clearly guess he is not talking about peace, he only talks about more wars in more countries. And as a Ukrainian, I guarantee you, the only way to bring lasting peace is to destroy more of the Russian military objects. So let's talk in detail what we've managed to achieve in this couple of days. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin regime, subscribe and we will discuss that on the channel sometime really soon. And let's start with the beautiful news from Crimea. You all know Crimea is Ukraine. This war started with the illegal annexation of the peninsula, with the weak reaction of the world, with the first try of the escalation management that totally failed. Right now, Russia uses this beautiful territory as a military base, but step by step we destroy more and more of objects they use to supply or protect the Russian army there. And last night was specifically successful in the destruction of various Russian air defense systems, and I literally had to make a list of them. So first of all, the Ukrainian drones destroyed two radio location stations, 92 and 2E, and these are multifunctional radars capable of performing different tasks, but not anymore. Another targets were two 92, 91 and 6E, and these are location radar systems, but oriented on detection. But the most important targets that perhaps cost the most for the Russian army, but most importantly, they use it for various functions, that is a S-400 launcher system. And it was all targeted during just one night. Think about that. 4 radio location systems and one S-400 launcher. A lot of money lost, a lot of equipment lost that Russians cannot substitute. This actually makes the problem with air defense even bigger. And a lot of people inside Russia are very dissatisfied with the quality of the Russian air defense because they are lucky we only target legitimate objects, but they do see explosions, smoke, fires on those legitimate objects like oil refineries, like military air bases, and they keep asking questions. If these are strategic objects for the Russian economy or for the Russian military, why do Ukrainian drones keep falling on them so successfully? And the answer is Russia was totally unprepared to defend itself. Russia believed in this blitzkrieg idea, and 3.5 years of war is very exhausting for the Putin's regime and for those millions who support him, because do not escape in that beautiful idea that this is just Putin's war. No, millions support him, millions do not object towards whatever he does, even when he ruins their economy. And do check my recent video about the banking crisis, which is a nice symptom from the Ukrainian point of view. But also Russian soldiers in tanks, those who target us with drones and missiles, these are Russians. And they start asking questions, and this is, by the way, very, very dangerous for the Kremlin regime. Whenever people are dissatisfied with this lack of strength, they don't like democracies, they have never experienced that, they always choose a strong hand. But where is that strong hand? Why Doesn't it protect Russian oil refineries or Russian air defense systems explode by themselves? Subscribe to witness more of the demilitarization inside Russia and share these videos. That is super important. And that is, by the way, the easiest but extremely effective way to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine, and I'm always very grateful for that. Another important target visited by the Ukrainian drones was a material and technical support center of the Russian army in Bryansk region, not far away from the front lines. So trust me, it was full of various Russian evil that they otherwise could have used against us. And Ukrainian drones do choose extremely explosive objects, like, for example, the missile fuel storage and also fuel depots. All of that was erased. And this is beautiful because, first of all, lots of innocent lives saved, many of Russian units paralyzed on the front line, and a lot of Russians receive messages again. War is back home to Russia. Dozens of your regions are a war zone. Ukrainian troops are in Kursk. Explosions in dozens of Russian regions. And you have to close skies. You cannot use your airports. Sanctions keep working, destroying your economy. But okay, these are all abstract things. But explosions, fire and smoke in military air bases, in these fuel depots are very real. Something that people can smell, can hear, can record on their telephones and then keep spreading as they do. And I guess more and more of them understand that, well, not everything goes according to the plan. Maybe Russia is not invincible. And we're working to bring more of such messages together with the effective Ukrainian drones. And they were also working in Taganrog a couple of days ago. And there was so many news, I did not manage to tell you more about that. In Taganrog, Ukrainian drones targeted a military airbase and also, I cannot say a parking lot, but what would be the right word for a parking lot of helicopters? You know, Russia keeps losing their aviation. Operation Spiderweb erased 1/3 of their strategic cruise missile carriers, but even marine drones destroy Russian combat helicopters like Mi-8. One Ukrainian marine drones recently destroyed 2 helicopters during just one beautiful night. And that goes perfectly with our strategy to, clean the Black Sea Aquatorium from the Russian warships. That is the only working peace plan. And I'm really happy that in the world of chaos, in the world of doubts, in the world of Donald Trump, we keep implementing our peace plan. You might have noticed that right now, for the third time, Putin began speaking about the third round of negotiations in Istanbul. They are not real. He wants to get all of Ukraine. He wants to get to the Baltics. He wants more. He wants to destroy your lifestyle, your stability, and many other things. Hybrid war against the European Union and against the United States is very real, and I won't be surprised if they help, I don't know, the Chinese to do something negative towards the South. And well, the axis of evil is very real. So I think that is another smoke screen that Putin will try to use to distract the attention of Donald Trump, to prevent new sanctions coming. But hopefully there will be a moment when everyone will get tired of this Kremlin gobbling, just as we do, and will understand that the only working peace plan, and yes, to defeat and demilitarize Russia, keep repeating that to all who doubt or to all who fear and want to know the solution. The solution is on the surface. And on the surface is the fact that Russians cannot even protect their capital, Moscow, because once again, drones were visiting the area around and they had to close Vnukovo and many more airports inside Russia. By the way, that is another important argument. Since the start of the full-scale war, Russia lost a lot and literally became a no-fly zone too. The fact that they keep flying is just the demonstration of their negligence and love to play this Russian roulette. But just as in Ukraine, because of their violence, in Russia because of our effective defense and drones that keep visiting military objects, and there are lots of military objects that Ukrainian drones want to visit. They have to close the skies. And trust me, those people who wait for hours or days in the airports do understand that not everything goes according to the plan, and that is important. Never underestimate this factor, together with serious problems in the Russian aviation. And here I connect the video I've recently filmed to tell you more about the problems they experience also in the civilian airlines thing, and that is a proof that sanctions work. That is why we cannot lift sanctions. We should just make them stronger, taking into account what Russia does to Ukraine on a daily basis. That is pure terror, nothing else. I know you know it, and I'm very grateful when you share it with those who doubt, who don't know, or who believe that there is no way out. Defeat, demilitarize Russia. Ukraine is ready to do the job. And by the way, all of the drones that did this beautiful work were from our Main Intelligence Directorate. And I kind of like it that different Ukrainian battalions, different Ukrainian directorates have something like a competition between their drones and their creative approaches. Or SBU actually is the winner with Spiderweb right now, but I don't mind if someone will exceed them in the strategical thinking on how to destroy more of the evil objects with extremely inexpensive but very innovative Ukrainian drones. And that is another argument why NATO needs Ukraine. Not just Ukraine needs NATO. And I need you, and I hope you need our meeting tomorrow, 9 p.m. Kyiv. So remember to join me for a live conversation here. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. That is an honor and a blessing to have you in my life. I'm very grateful for that. Do check our merch shop with lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And we have a beautiful and very meaningful summer collection that combines items with spiderweb operation and various messages that I'm always grateful when you express and remind people about us and our fight. Follow me on X, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Threads. All the links that you need in the description of this video, same as the link to our Discord community. And once again, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Thank you for being friends of mine and friends of Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!